Her former outfits. It's fun to dress in a girl.
Are you ready, Mr. Simpson?
Are you ready?
Sorry.
Sorry.
Okay, now we're good.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight is April 16th for our regular called board meeting at the Estill County Board of Education. I'd like to welcome everyone, and please remember to sign in. We do have Miss Isford on a Zoom call with us. She is out of town with a nurse practitioner thing she needs to do. Before we do the pledge, I would like to do a moment of silence for Coach Neese. He was an instrumental part of the Estill County football program. Of course, he had his own boys, but every young man that was being mentored by him, they always consider themselves a Hoover's boy. And he'll be greatly missed, but, you know, his memory will live on. So if we just have a moment of silence, please. All right, if, stand up and say the pledge. Would any of you all like to come up here and lead us in the pledge? You don't have to, but if you'd like to. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And like I said at the beginning, if you're visiting with us tonight, if y'all could sign in at the front here. We'll move on to revisions. Do we have any revisions this time, Mr. Brock?
We do not.
Okay. Our next item is the Estill County Middle School Odyssey of the Mind team.
So while they're getting up here, this is something new that we've started in Estill County this year. It's a competition called Odyssey of the Mind. And we're very fortunate to have some very good members that went and participated, and I think they've got some pretty good news to tell us here, and they're going to present to you all on what Odyssey of the Mind is. So.
Odyssey of the Mind is a new club being added to Estill County Middle School, and it's for both middle schools and high schools. The people who do Odyssey of the Mind are called OMers, and they will be faced with a problem, and they will work together as a team to create a solution to the problem they are given. Odyssey will help students prepare for the real world. Students will learn aspects such as teamwork, time management, budgeting, public speaking, and more. Odyssey focuses on the arts while incorporating STEM. This club's main components consist of the arts, but STEM is incorporated in multiple problems.
Go ahead.
Our first problem, it's called vehicle. It's where, in order to solve the problem, they create a vehicle to solve the problem. Next slide.
The second problem is technical, so as each problem has a performance with it, they also have to create a device of some sort to go along with their performance and incorporate it into that performance. This one is also STEM-based, but it, as every other problem does, incorporates the arts.
Next slide.
Problem 3 is the classics. Focus on classics such as poems. They also build an art piece or structure, help solve the problem. It appeals to students who enjoy the more artistic side of history and who are welcome to showcasing its solutions in a performance. Next.
Problem 4 is structure, and you also do a performance as you do with every problem. But the main component for this one is STEM, where you build a structure and you see how much weight it can hold. The winner is determined by how much weight it can withstand and for how long. They also have to incorporate plays into their problems. Next slide.
Problem 5 is called performance. Problem focuses more on the theatrical experience of Odyssey of the Mind. Students are given requirements that they have to write into their play. The requirements tell them what kind of play it has to be, whether a story, where the hero has to rescue someone, or the characters have to overcome a challenge. Problem 5 appeals to students who are more interested in theater and performing. Next slide.
Spontaneous. This problem, all teams compete in. It's more of an improvisation sort of competition. They can either be faced with a verbal thing where they will ask them a question and then they have to quickly respond, think of an answer. They get 2 minutes to think and 1 minute to respond for their in the speaking one. The other one can be a form of puzzle where they have to complete a puzzle in split seconds. Next slide, please.
Odyssey of the Mind offers competition on multiple levels, regional, state, and world finals. Next slide.
How can OM benefit you? So for many students, scholarships are available, especially if they compete in high school or college levels. And this also, Odyssey can also help your job applications look more professional. OM teaches you life skills and can come into play in the real world. Next slide, please.
Important to note, problems such as 1 and 4 are not only for students interested in STEM. There are other roles in the problem, such as acting and script writing. Every year, the prompts and guidelines for each problem can change, not the problem itself. Odyssey of the Mind is completely free to students depending on funding. Coaches may have students pay a small fee in order to help pay for supplies. OMers do not have to place in order to qualify for state. Next slide, please. Questions?
And I'll add something in as well. From my perspective as one of the new coaches, I think it's a very unique opportunity for our kids because it is all student-based. As a coach, I basically just kind of stand back, answer questions a little bit, but it is all on the kids to actually build, solve, design, everything. So it's a very unique opportunity to use skills. It was extremely neat because, again, the performing arts is embedded in it as well. So it is for the kid that likes to build things, but also a very to pass flyers out and go around after testing at the end of the school year to help gain interest to really start this next year in our schools. So we're very excited. Can you all tell them your names real quick?
Iris Patrick Howard. Alina Bailey.
John Osborne.
Chris Philhauer.
We have three members that are not here tonight, Emmy Baird and Ramey Lincoln Baker and Kylie Nichols, who also attended. And these students, I'm very proud of them for trying something new. They went to the shadow program, and I copied these for you and gave to every board member and to Mr. Brock. And this is all of the different problems that we got to observe. And tell them a little bit about the problem for structure. How much weight did that structure hold?
The world record is over a ton of like actual weight attached to bars. This specific one has like 220 or something like that.
220 pounds, so they actually take weight and they put it on the structure until it collapses.
And they're in very restricted parameters, like they don't do without a ball wood, just wood. So it's incredibly tight the size.
It has to be like a minimum and maximum size too.
That's right. So they're really using their brains to figure out these different problems. Another really neat thing is that our team can choose the problem that they want to work on for Odyssey of the Mind. This is something that I really thought that some of our gifted kids would be interested in. And along with the shadow program, we have also won for our district a free membership. So that was a real blessing to us to be able to win that membership, and these kids get to benefit from it. And they all four of them so far plan on being on the Odyssey of the Mind team, right? Awesome. I don't think you're really that excited about the performance part. You're more excited about the problem, right? Okay. So thank you all so much for coming and sharing with us what you learned.
Thank you all.
Good job.
And if you all want, you all don't have to stay and listen to everything else. So if you would like to go ahead and leave, that would be fine. Or you can stay here and listen to us. We don't care either one.
It's always great when we get to offer our students in the county a new opportunity,
It is, it is.
to showcase the skills they have, so.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the action items. The first one is the consideration approval of update regular bus stops policy 06.33, second reading.
Yeah, this is the one we had the first reading of. Nothing has changed since it last board meeting. It just clarifies the language on drop-off and pickup.
Okay. I need a motion. Okay, in a second. And Donna, we all have for a vote.
Discussion?
Oh, well, any discussion? Yes, I'm sorry. I don't do this very often.
You're
as
good,
y'all can
you're good.
tell. So we're ready for a vote, I guess?
Yes.
Everybody aye?
All
Donna?
in favor?
Aye. Donna Eastbrook votes aye.
It was a 5-0 vote with Donna voting from her Zoom. Let's see, now we're gonna do the, consideration approval of the second reading of the following policy update, 03.225, which is a classified expense reimbursement policy, and the 03.125 certified expense reimbursement.
Yeah, nothing's changed on this one either since last meeting. It just makes it a cleaner process and keeps up with the recommendations of the state. It's my recommendation we approve.
Okay, any discussion on this?
Need a motion and a second.
Okay, we just need a motion and a second. All right. With Sheila Samples' motion, Tammy Hardy the second. Any discussion? All right, call for a vote. Everybody?
Aye.
Donna Eastford voting yes, so 5-0 vote. Our next is the consideration approval of mine-size services agreement.
So this is an agreement that we've had for several years now. It goes back to testing for our students. It's a testing service. It's my recommendation we approve the agreement.
Okay, do I have a motion? Tammy Hardy, and second will be Sharon Whitaker. Any discussion? All right, for a vote? Aye. 5-0 vote with Donna voting yes also. Let's see here. Now, next one will be the consideration approval of the MOA with the United States Army.
So this is for our new instructor for JROTC out at the high school. It's a great program. It's my recommendation we approve.
Okay, do I have a motion for that? That'll be Sheila Samples, second by Sharon Whitaker. Is there any discussion on this? All right, call for a vote. Aye.
Aye.
Donna Eastert voting yes, 5-0 vote. So our next thing will be the consideration approval of the agreement with Kentucky Science and Technology Corporation.
So this is a grant that the middle school had written, which gives them some support and materials for math, and it's my recommendation we approve.
All right, motion, be Sheila Samples, a second. Tammy Hardy, any discussion on this? All right, call for a vote. Aye.
Aye.
Donna Eastert voting aye, so 5-0 vote. Moving right along here, consideration approval RFP for the athletics advertising rights sponsorship.
So this is just putting out an RFP for people to be able to bid on naming rights for like the gymnasium, the stadiums and stuff like that. It's got a minimum requirement, and it'll bring in some money for athletics. Any business within the community is welcome to submit a proposal. Those proposals come to me at the Board of Education, and then we'll come back at some point and either have them come, the finalists come present to the board, or the board will make a decision on whether or not to have those naming rights go forward for our athletic facilities. Yeah, and it would not affect anything that's already named. It would not affect anything that's already named. So.
Okay. Have a motion? Tammy Hardy, a second. Sheila Samples. We have any discussion for this?
So is there a time
Is-
period that,
There is a time period in the RFP. I think it was 5 weeks. I don't remember exactly how long it was, but it'll give long enough for people to respond, and then we can extend that if we need to. And like I said, it will not, we're not, just by putting this out, we're not tied down to doing it, but it also will not change the name of anything that's already been designated in our athletic facilities.
and I have one more question. So how are you getting the word out? By,
So it'll be advertised just like we would do for a bid. It's advertised in the
Okay.
newspaper. It's on the website. We've already had a few companies interested in doing this before we put the RFP out. So
Okay.
we'll continue to try to get the word out. But any company within the community or outside of the community for that matter is welcome to put forth a proposal.
Okay.
So, Mr. Brock, just to clarify, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, so just to clarify, it would still be like Hoover Nice Field,
Absolutely.
but it could be whatever company it was, it could be that football stadium.
Yeah, it would be all state stadium if they're willing to give us millions of dollars like they have for the pros. So we'd be happy to take that. Yes, but that's correct. It would still be Hoover Nice Field. It would not change any name that's already been given and designated.
Okay.
And you said that, businesses outside of our community could bid on that?
I mean, anybody's welcome to bid. That's the nature of an RFP, but I mean, it's the board's decision ultimately which direction we go.
Okay.
All right, I'd like to call for a vote. Aye. Donna?
Aye. I
5-0
vote.
vote. And Donna voting yes by Zoom. All right, so let's see here. The next thing is the consideration approval of the updated salary schedule.
So there's just a few adjustments on here specifically to OT, a lead psychologist and a interim psychologist. And the reason we needed to change those is because the lead psychologist will have some duties that they are required to fulfill with the interim psychologist. The interim psychologist is not a new position. It's simply rewording of the position that we had before. We've been trying to hire a second psychologist for years now, even before I came, and we've not been able to find one. However, we have had some interest in an interim position, and the hopes would be that we could keep them, help them get through and get their degree, and then they would stay on board with us so that we would have 2 psychologists again. It's my recommendation we approve.
Okay, a motion. Sharon Whitaker, second Tammy Hardy. Any discussion? I will ask, so, like I said, help and pay for the degree, because I know at some point used to it'd be, as a school system, we'll pay for the rest of your degree, but you have to stay with us for 5 years. Would that be something similar to that?
Yeah, we're not helping pay for the degree. We simply amended the position to be a psychologist or an interim psychologist,
Okay.
which would be an intern under our lead psychologist. Now, they will still have responsibilities. They can still do some testing and some reports and stuff like that, but that would be overseen by Ms. Flynn, who is our current lead psychologist, and she would make sure that all that was right. They have to do these hours in order to become a psychologist, and so she's really just taking on somebody under her wing. But it also helps the district because it gets it takes some of the work off of her and some of the reports and stuff that she can do. But the ultimate goal would be, yes, that they stay with us. It is not paid at the rate of what we pay a psychologist, but it is paid at a rank 2 because they have enough additional hours to qualify what we would call a master's. So.
Okay, okay.
And it's really hard for those students to get those hours because there's limited preceptors available.
Yes.
Western Kentucky is the only place in our state that does that, so the student has had to go to Western to finish their master's.
Yep.
Okay. Ready for a vote?
I think we need a did we get a
Oh,
motion in a
yeah.
second? Miss Lee, did we get one? I can't remember.
On the salary schedule we did.
Okay,
Yeah,
so, yeah,
That's what I thought.
thank
Ready
you.
for a vote? Everybody?
Yeah,
Aye. Sharon? Aye.
Sorry.
Pass with the 5-0 vote. All right, and now on to consent items. We have approved the minutes of the regular called board meeting from March 19th. Is everything okay with that?
Yeah, we can do all these
We
together.
do all these together, okay, and approve the treasurer's report and payment of bills, and improve the superintendent's travel.
So I've got just a real quick, and you all have just a down and dirty sheet on we've got the detailed reports. You all have that in your packets, but we've asked Mr. Yost every month to give us like a detail, just a real quick snapshot. So here's where we're at. Currently, as opposed to last year, local revenue, we're up about $230,000 roughly. Seek revenue, we're up $436,000. Expenditure reimbursements, we're up about $37,000. You all see the exact numbers there. Medicaid reimbursement, we're about $30,000 above. Fund transfer and indirect costs, we're about $88,000 above. Total with that category, we're about $821,000 above where we were at last year. As far as spending goes, we have underspent this year compared to last year, a little over $1 million. Encumbrances, that should be red because we're over about 29,000 on encumbrances compared to last year at this time. And encumbrance means that we've set the money aside to pay the bills. However, there's some POs and stuff that I think needs to be cleared out that hasn't been cleared out, and I expect that to bring that number down to equal or also be a little bit ahead on there. And overall, we're in these categories, we're to the good this year versus last year, $971,706.48. So, and then travels, went to Frankfurt a bunch of times, and have been to a couple of co-op meetings and stuff like that. And and then the minutes I've looked at them from last board meeting, and then obviously just the paying of bills, which we have to do every month. It's my recommendation we approve.
Okay, do I have a motion? Sheila Samples, second by Tammy Hardy. Any discussion?
Do you think there was any big line items that where the expenditures were such reduced compared to last year? Or is it, do you think the technology that we're using now has helped in
So
that aspect?
I know that us adhering to budgets electronically rather than trying to keep them on paper and some of those checks and balances that has been done through Munis have absolutely helped. And we've been strategic to really look at every budget and cut where we can, trying to be good stewards. But yeah, it makes a big difference.
Yeah, good job to everybody.
Yes, yes. All right, ready for a vote? Aye. Donna?
Aye.
Passed by 5-0 vote. So now we're gonna go on down to the superintendent's report with an update and notification of personal actions.
Okay, so, update first, we'll start with enrollment in ADA. Our current K-12 enrollment is 2,028. Our average daily attendance, or ADA, is about 1,816. That's not counting any of our virtual or performance kids. Our overall attendance percentage right now is 92.18. We do expect that to come up when we do weather days and drop sick days. We got 10. And then our enrollment as of last year at this time was 2,055. So we are a little bit down in enrollment compared to this time last year. Enrollment overall, South Irvin's 110, West Irvin's 444, Estill Springs is 476, middle school is 453, and the high school is 550. Virtual and Success Academy is sitting at 105. We're accepting, Virtual Academy is accepting applications for the 26-27 school year currently. You can see Mr. Norton about that. We've had 4 kindergarten registrations so far for next school year, the 26-27 school year. If families missed these, please contact Ms. Shea at Estill Springs or Ms. Courtney at West Irvin, and we can get them in for that registrations. If your students enrolled in South Irvin, you do not have to enroll. We've already got that number. So that's that one. Middle school updates. Like I said, it's been a lot of time in Frankfort, and it's been a wild budget cycle. It's been a wild last 2 days. I know that there's been a lot of things out on Facebook, and there's been news articles written about it, and I can give you an idea of where we stand currently, but I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still in contact with Frankfort to try to figure out exactly what all that language means and what it means as far as like being tied to the Kentucky Division of Emergency Management. I know what that means from an aspect of us here at the school district. I'm still trying to figure out what that means with within the aspect of funding. So we did receive $10 million. That $10 million is earmarked for moving students. So what that'll allow us to do is go ahead and start construction on some kind of either temporary facility or a facility where we can have a place where we can move students out of the middle school. What that's going to look like, I do not know at this point because we've brainstormed many ideas, but as soon as we come up with what that will look like and what that means, I've still got to get with the state. And it's like they're tired or something today from legislation session because I've tried all day to get a hold of somebody. I've got a hold of a couple people up there, but not definitively the people I need to get a hold of to understand what accessing this money looks like and when we can begin. Hoping we can begin as soon as that bill goes in place. The bill that this was released in was Senate Bill 197, which was kind of an amendment to House Bill 900, and it was kind of really a last-minute thing. I got a call yesterday or I didn't get a call, I got a text yesterday around 11 or 12 o'clock from Senator Brandon Smith that told me we was going to be in that bill, and he didn't know exactly what it looked like yet, but we were going to receive funding for moving kids, and his hope was to receive funding for building a new middle school, continuing that construction. I have spoken with him several times today, and I also got word from the House side, I've not got to speak to them directly yet, but indirectly, that part of being designated as an emergency and part of the Kentucky Division of Emergency Management means there is another pot of money that we should have access to. Now, I'm going to say should because I have not talked to the proper people yet, but I've been told by Senator Smith and from the House side that there is a pot of money we should be able to continue construction with. So if I'm being told correctly, there are two pots of money here, one to construct a facility so that we can move students out of the middle school, and one to continue with the construction and the rebuilding. There's some language in the Facebook post and in the bill with emergency and critical and all that I know is concerning to our community, but I want to clarify that we still have had engineers look at this building. It still is structurally sound currently. The emergency management is just another partner to come along beside of us and to help us monitor. You'll notice that it says that the building can be condemned if necessary. The emergency management, Kentucky Emergency Management would do that, but we would have already done it ourselves if it had not been safe. It continues to be safe for students to be in the building. Does continue to move, so that's why they recognized it as an emergency. I sent an email a few weeks ago when we didn't get funded to leadership in both the Senate and the House side, and I compared it to an emergency situation, just like a tornado, just like a flood, because it is. The difference is it didn't happen overnight and it didn't happen quickly. It's happened over years and years and years, but it's going to continue to happen, and at some point that building will have to be condemned. But as of now, we still have had engineers look at it. The footings are still solid. It is safe. As soon as I get with them and we get them to come down and look at it as well, we're going to work with them to plan what this alternate facility looks like. And as soon as we get those plans together and as soon as we start forward, we will let the public and our community know. Lots of people are going to speculate on where it's going to be built. I have no idea at this point, but we do have some sites that we are looking at that will be done in conjunction with the state and the emergency management. But if I understand correctly from today, there's a pot of money where we can continue building the middle school, and there's a pot of money where we can build alternate classrooms and an alternate site so that we can ultimately move the kids before the middle school is built. And again, I want to reiterate that we have had engineers, structural engineers look at it. And even though that language is concerning, it's concerning to me too. But it is truth. We're not trying to hide anything. We are in a critical situation because there will come a day that there can't be kids in that building anymore. But I want to assure you all, right now, it is still structurally sound, and we're going to work with the Kentucky Emergency Management to make sure that it still is, and the very moment that it is not, we will close the building and students will be in it no longer. And that's about all I have as far as updates on the middle school. We're obviously closing out the end of the year. I will say this, if you have any questions or concerns or comments about anything, please contact me. I'll sit down with you. I'll take you to the middle school. I'll show you how we're monitoring it. I'll show you the reports that we've got. I don't mind to post those, but they're big, long, lengthy reports. I'll let you look at them. I'll let you walk through them. It'll tell you exactly how much that it's moved in the last year, certain places that we're monitoring, but the footings are solid. As far as the year goes, I encourage everybody to come out and watch Shrek Jr. this weekend. It is a great musical. The kids have done a fabulous job. Our sponsors have done a fabulous job. And I think that that our community will be amazed just how great it is. The acting's great, the singing's great. It's just a great production. So if you don't have anything to do Saturday, come out and watch Shrek Jr. So I want to put a plug in for that. We are running down toward the end of the year. I know that it's to June 5th, but it will come quickly. And we're right in the heart of doing our last bit of testing locally so that we can get an idea how much our kids have grown, and then we'll push toward the end, and then we'll have KSA, and then we'll have our last day, and then we'll have graduation, and then we'll be out for the summer. So we do, if you've not seen the school calendar, we will not start late next year. We're starting in August, so we won't have that pushback, and we won't have, we'll have some more leeway on weather and stuff this year. So I think that's all I've got.
All right. See, moving along here, we go on to the principal's report, and I've heard Ms. Singleton, or Mr. Singleton needs to go first here.
I will go first. I'll have to leave out of here. I was calling it our Future Engineers Baseball and Softball Development Academy. It's also known as T-ball, but have T-ball practice that I got to get to. But real quickly, I just wanted to highlight a couple things that we have had going on and have going on at the high school. It is a fun time, and like Mr. Brock said, the end of the year is barreling down the track toward us, but it is a very fun time. So we took a little bit of time last week that was supposed to be spring break, and we celebrated our teachers. And I just wanted to show that and highlight that. We gave them a mini beach vacation in the teachers' workroom, provided them snacks and drinks, and turned the TV on in there and put a beach scene up, and did that, and then had a Hawaiian day, and just made sure that they remembered and that students could see us having fun, even though we were, in the building on spring break. We just wanted to highlight that and keep our spirits up throughout that time. It is a long stretch, and I know you all know that, but we're doing everything we can to model that expectation for our kids. Shrek the Musical, wanted to talk about that too. Mr. Brock already mentioned it, but it is phenomenal. I was telling Ms. Cornett today, I've got to sneak in there over the past few days, and I've just watched little bits of it because I want to take the opportunity to go see it with our students tomorrow, and I didn't want to watch all of it, but the parts I've seen are phenomenal. So definitely check that out this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, right? So Saturday at 6, Sunday at 2. So great opportunities there. It is $5, correct? $5 to get in, and that supports our theater program. So we appreciate anybody that can come out to do that. Concert band. Our concert band went to competition for KMEA and received a distinguished rating. And I want to brag on them for that because this is nothing new for us, just to be honest. Distinguished ratings are not. However, this is the first year that I can remember us having this many snow days during this time and this few amount of days to actually prepare for it. And they're given a piece. They have to perfect that piece, basically, and then perform it. And they were able to do that in a very short amount of time. So super proud of them for that. And then lastly, I'll wrap up with some preliminary SAT scores that we've got back. We still have some scores we're waiting on, but we had 43% of our students meet the benchmark in ELA and writing and 10% in math. And if you look across the state, that is very close to our state average. But I just wanted to brag on our kids on this because this is our first year ever taking the SAT, and it's new. The whole process has been new. It did also come, and I don't want to keep blaming weather, but it came in a time that we weren't in school a whole lot leading up to that. Didn't have a whole lot of prep. We did one good day of a SAT boot camp, but as far as other prep work for that, we weren't, able to give that to them. However, they still performed really well. So I want to brag on them for that, and next year our scores should be even better as we continue to prepare for the SAT as opposed to the ACT. So that's what we've got going on. We got tons more, but I didn't want to take the whole night. So.
Thank you very much.
And I want to give, you mentioned spring break, a shout out to our kids and our parents because our attendance last week was around about 93%. That is fabulous. Thank you all so much. Amazing, amazing.
Thank you, Mr. Singleton. Ms. Mays, you next now? All right.
Ms. Mays. Go get that developmental league.
Thank you all for letting us share a little bit about Estill Springs this evening. We have had another great month. Starting at the top there, we were able to have our PTO Spring Carnival. That has been rescheduled since our Christmas Bazaar was canceled due to weather, so it's been a long time coming. But when you have a hip-hop Easter bunny, I think it just made up for all good things. So we had a great night and raised some money for our students. In the middle there is our fifth grade celebratory luncheon. We started this about 3 years ago, and we transform our gym into the ESC banquet hall. They all dress up and come, and we go through an entire fine dining experience, teaching them all of the etiquette rules to a fancy dinner. They greatly enjoyed it, and our cafeteria staff went all out and served an amazing meal, and complete with Oreo fluff dessert. Every student enjoyed. To the right there is Miss Dina Swim from the coffee shop. One of our fifth grade teachers, Miss Alex Singleton, she teaches math. That's a vibrant learning experience and community partnership. Miss Dina Swim came in during a unit on decimals. They helped to calculate items on the menu, and then they also used those calculations to create some boba lemonade. So they all enjoyed that. In the middle left there is Teddy Bear Fair. That's also an event that was rescheduled due to weather. We had a surprise snow day on St. Patrick's Day. So we are very thankful to Markham Wallace Memorial Hospital for rescheduling us for Teddy Bear Fair. That's such a memorable event for our first grade students. So we greatly enjoyed that. Middle right, we have hosted 4 kindergarten registrations during the day and in the evening, and we've had some really fun kids come in to visit us. They are so excited to see our building and meet our teachers, and we can't wait for more. If you know or have a student that's going to be 5 on or before August 1st, we'd love to have you. I'm going to plug in there. Bring those babies in to Estill Springs or West Irvin. Bottom left there, we celebrated National Assistant Principal Week. That's Miss Bailey there with our resident barista, Mason. He chooses as a behavior reward to serve coffee to some of our staff members, and I think that says a lot about a kid's heart if their behavior reward is to serve others. So that's him. He made a special coffee there for Miss Bailey. In the middle, we have more reading mastery celebrations. That's a big group of kindergartners with huge smiles on their faces because they've moved into the first grade reading book. They are super, super excited for those new books, and we are loving seeing their progress and listening to them read. Mr. Brock was actually in our building today for my site visit, and he got to hear a lot of our youngest students reading today, so that was really, really special. The last one there to the right is a group of fifth grade entrepreneurs. Those boys brought a business proposal to me to create some 3D printed products and sell them at our PTO carnival to benefit our school. So they have greatly enjoyed that. Mr. Matthew Robertson, who leads up our technology, has fostered a huge love in our building for 3D printing, so much so that I think most of those fifth grade boys got one for Christmas. So they are really wanting to pursue those talents, and we're thankful for Mr. Matthew for supporting that as well. So it's been a great month. If you look on the back there, there's a list of upcoming events. Our calendar is super full between now and June 5th. And if there's any day you all want to come out and see us, you are welcome to. There are also opportunities to be fed. That Transportation Appreciation Breakfast is April 28th, and we will have a big spread if any of you all want to come join us that morning. Thank you.
Thank you. And now Ms. Miller for West Irvin.
So like Miss May said, we have a lot going on right now. We are really full swing in the middle of everything. You can see we had some great Easter celebrations. The bunny did stop by West Irvin. There were eggs galore and a lot of students who were very excited and very hopped up on sugar that day. Right below that, we had our spring book fair, and we just were very blessed by community outpouring. We were able to sponsor every kindergartner with a book thanks to our community members and their donations. So just a huge shout out to our community. Thank you all so much. We did finish up our family lunches. We just had second grade this week, which was rescheduled from a snow day, and we had kindergarten a few weeks ago. We have done a lot of celebrating of growth. We've had a lot of food celebrations, as you can see. This class that got donuts, all of them mastered their standards mastery assessment, so their teachers brought them donuts. We've had a lot of field trips, including the teddy bear fair. Today, our whole school went to see Shrek Jr., which was amazing. Another plug for that. It was fabulous. It was a feat to move the whole school to the high school and back, but it was well worth it for us. At the top, we had our first annual art show, and it was a success. Our students were very proud of their pieces, and we loved having people in our building to vote on those pieces to give out our first, second, and third place ribbons. So we just have had a wonderful time. We are in the midst of iReady right now. We have just finished reading. We're excited about the growth we're seeing, and we're excited to see how our students do in math for our third, fourth, and fifth. Next week, we do have our KSA award ceremony, so if any of you want to come out, I have it wrong on the flyer. It is at 5:30, not 6, but it is next week, so we would love to see you there. We do have a lot of things coming up, and we are just grateful for all of the support and all of the opportunities that our students are getting in our district.
Thank you. It's always great to hear about our community members. They do so much for this county schools, and we appreciate everything that they do. All right. Now for the South Urban.
We are into recruitment right now, so those first two pictures, top and bottom, are both some recruitment efforts. It is hard for some parents to come by school during the school day to pick up applications, so there are other ways to get those. They are online. There are links to those, and then also what you see there is a list on the right is a flyer of everything a child would need to be able to come to preschool, such as their vision exams, dental exams, those types of things. There's a box that says application pickup, so they can be picked up and then completed, dropped off, and only we can get into that box for the drop-off. So that's a way that we've been trying to work around the schedules of the community. And then we did have our egg hunt. Going across the top, we had a family event during a Friday, and we do that often, but we don't have a very big turnout on Fridays. But we did during our gardening unit, and we did flower pots and birdhouses, and we had over 20 students come. So that is success for us, plus their families. And then we finished up our wheels unit, and some of our community partners came for that, and that is a picture of Rumpke. They support us in many ways, but they sent out a truck and drivers for that. On the bottom, we talked about recruitment. That is the egg hunt that was at the Kiwanis Ballpark. So we try to send out people to set up to catch children if we can. There's also a QR code that leads to the link for registration for us. That's in our window at school, and then every time we set up, we bring it with us. Social emotional, that's a picture of our guidance counselor. She sees every child at least once a week. We're in our gardening unit right now. It's the last day today. That is just a picture of some of us outside with the kids in the garden. But we also had Miss Miller come today. She's not up there, but Miss Miller from the middle school. She brought middle school FFA students. There was about 20 students, and they did a fabulous job with our kids. So our kids like to interact with them, and it's neat to see the kids. They actually were teaching our kids. So one of the kids from the middle school was a boy, and he would say, "Do you know what this is?" And he had a seed. He talked about germinating. It was really neat that they were able to pass what they know about gardens onto our kids. And then I put just a picture of one of our learning targets there, and it is the one that I can tell why something happened or will happen. And that is a science experiment in the classroom. Assessment data is the same as last time, and then upcoming events that we have. We're under Head Start review, that starts next week. So we have been really fine-tuning practices at South Irving. We have parent-teacher conference that's combined with the family night next week. We have recruitment day on the 15th of May, so you might see us set up at everywhere that lets us come. So everybody that doesn't have a job to do in the school will be set up around the community to try to get children. And then we have family carnival night. For us, that's a free event. It's not a fundraiser. It is just to give back to our families.
Thank you very much. I was gonna say, Ms. Moore? No, I was looking,
She's trying to hide back there.
Okay. This time of year is when our Success Academy enrollment really goes up. So what normally is like a 12 to 15 person academy down here, we now have 21 students. So we have a lot of students down here right now. We're actually getting more voluntary applications at our Success Academy. And then 19 of our students this week are on target with their goals, which with all the weather that we've had is quite impressive for my students. 19 out of 21. We also have Dr. Eden, who is our new school district counselor. She is coming down with my kids every Friday and working with them. And last week, as kind of a reward for those kids working with her, she took them all to La Cabana and let them have lunch. So my kids really enjoyed that, and it was just something for them to do with her that was out of the ordinary, and they really had a great time with that. We're fortunate to have a lot of people that come and work with my kids. Miss Charlotte Sutter comes and cooks with them often. Miss Melinda Barnett comes and does craft projects and cooks with them as well. So our kids are well loved and well taken care of, and so that's pretty much all that's going on at Success Academy.
And they got to see Shrek.
And they got to see Shrek. That's right. They also got to go see Shrek. I just wasn't here because I was at Nissel.
All right, thank you.
Ms. Halcomb could not be with us tonight. She's lost a family member very close to her. Please remember her in your thoughts and prayers.
All right. So, on to board member forum. Anybody have anything? Donna, have you got anything?
It's Donna. Mr. Brock and Mr. Singleton both talked about the production of Shrek, and one of our goals as our Board of Education goals early on, Mr. Brock became our superintendent, was to develop the drama and give our kids more cultural opportunities. And so they've done a fabulous job doing that. I think along those same lines, the Mac Theater here in Urban is really trying to have a huge fundraiser right now. They received a grant from the state, and they had to have the matching funds to be able to obtain that money from the state. So there has been a widespread effort to donate to the MAC. So if anybody feels so led, I'm sure that they would appreciate it. And what they're doing actually goes along with what our mission was at school, and that was to increase access to drama and different cultural events. Mr. Brock, you may have a comment about that.
Yeah, I mean, I've said since I came and since the board was gracious enough to give me this opportunity, we're going to be about opportunities for kids, no matter what that looks like. I am not a singer. I am not an actor. I can play a radio like nobody's business. But other than that, I could not carry a tune in a dump truck. I'm a math, physics guy, okay? But our kids need more opportunities than just math and physics. They need musicals, they need dramas, they need Odyssey of the Mind, they need STEM, they need performing arts, they need band, they need athletics, they need career and technical, and we can go on and on and on and on. So as long as I'm here and as long as the board gives me that opportunity, we will continue to give opportunities to kids. And that's what we will seek to do. And I think this is just one example. I love that the MAC, I love their passion. And one of our goals is when they get that thing restored, we're going to have a joint musical drama play with our kids at the high school and with our community and vice versa. So it's a great thing for our community. It's a great thing for our kids. And like Ms. Isford said, I would encourage you to keep that project alive if you feel so led, because we have to have those opportunities within our community. It can't just be, I mean, you all know I'm an academics person, but it's not all academics. It's about opportunities for kids to shine in what they're passionate about, so. I'll get off my soapbox. I can talk about that a while.
Absolutely.
Exactly. I was gonna ask now, we are doing buses for the Mushroom Festival. Are we doing that?
Mhm.
So that's coming up at the end of the month.
Yep.
Okay. Any public comments, Jeremy?
We had one that's not related to, just general comment, a parent asking if we could ever have sign language classes at high school.
That's a great thing. I've got their contact information. I will be in contact with them tomorrow. Definitely not opposed to it, because that would definitely be another opportunity. There would be some challenges to that, but I will talk to them, and I'd love to look into that. That's a great idea, actually.
Yes, it is.
Technically, since we talked about it, we do need to announce publicly who submitted that. While it slowly loads. That response was submitted by Rebecca Romans.
Former students.
Okay. Well, if there's not anything else, I'd like a motion to adjourn, which will be Sheila Samples, and second by Tammy Hardy. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
5-0 vote with Donna voting via Zoom. Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you.